Hey, y'all remember back in vlog number 2 when I was so distraught about having to spend $300 to get my camera repaired? Well, I spent exactly $0 to get my camera repaired. Let's talk about it in today's testimony. God, why do you love me so much? I can't even. I cannot even. I can't even. Ah! The fact that. Listen. Also, I want to throw it now, but then had to defeat the purpose. So, thank you, Jesus. Y'all. So, I was just like downstairs just now recording some reels, right? And so the camera, this 90D in front, sorry, this 90D that I'm recording on right now, that's what I was using to shoot my reel. To shoot my reels. And so God is so, like, everything is just like right when it needs to happen. Like, it just reminds you, like, I'm gonna get back to the story in a second, but how can I not believe and trust and know that God has really got me? Like, God sets everything up at perfect timing just to show me, yes, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I'm leading you. I'm guiding you. I got you. Anywho, what I'm so excited about right now that it's taking me forever to get out because I'm just rambling. I'm so excited. I'm just thinking about how purposeful God is and how specific and exact God is and how omniscient and omnipotent God is and how he knows exactly what we need when we need it. And sometimes he just lets us have a little moment to and then he says, here it is. And you're like, yes. Anywho, now let me try to get this out because I'm excited. So I'm recording on my 90D. I was downstairs recording some reels on the 90D. The battery was running low, so I was like, well, let me go ahead and change out the battery. And I didn't disconnect it from the tripod. I just opened the battery door, trying to see if I could just open the battery door to get the battery out to go change it. I saw that I couldn't get the battery out, so I was like, let me just go ahead and take it off the tripod. Take it off the tripod. Okay. So when I took the camera off the tripod, the battery door fell in my hand and the camera shut off. And I'm like, now I know the camera didn't die that fast. Like, the battery still had a little bit of life left. And the only thing that happened was the battery door fell off in my hand. And so I'm like, well, let me just put the battery door back on, you know? So I had to finagle around a little bit to put the battery door back on. And as soon as I put the battery door back on, it came on. So even though the battery was in the camera, all the way in, the battery was good connection, wasn't falling out, it was in good, but without the door being on and shut, it wouldn't turn on. And so then my brain started to, and I said, you know, that ADD upstairs that I thought was broken, that I looked on the, was it KEH, whatever that website is for camera repair. Like, I'd gone into Savannah to get camera repair. They don't do it anymore. They recommend this other place. I go on the website to this other place. It's like the baseline $300 for camera repair. And I'm like, $300 isn't the most money in the world. And especially when compared to having to buy another camera, it's not that bad. But I'm like, still, I don't want to spend any more money. I've not yet seen any return on my investment for any of this stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, I'm tired of spending out, which I still have to spend out even more at this point. But I'm like, I'm tired of spending out. So I hate to have to spend $300 for camera repair. Don't know how long it's going to take them to fix it. Don't know what, you know. So I'm like, ugh. And then I come back and I said, you know what? just now when the battery door fell off, the camera wouldn't turn on. So I said, let me just see if I try to connect the battery door back on the broken camera, if that's the only fix that it needs. Not that it needs a whole new $300, $400, $500 repair. Just me literally putting the battery door back on. Will that fix my broken camera? Y'all, when I and turn that thing on, it came right on. And I'm like, that's all I had to do all this time was just to put the camera door back on, the battery door back on. I didn't even know that was it, because like even with the battery door off, like, you know, like when the battery door is open, like the camera's still, the battery's still in. It's still making a connection. It's not falling out. I'm like, the battery's in. It never occurred to me that just shutting the door is the one thing that would turn it off, like keep it from turning on, just because the battery door is open. And so when it fell, was it last week or a week ago, whenever, the door came off. And so it wouldn't turn back on. And all I had to do was put the door back on and let there be light. And a couple of things here. I did kind of struggle with putting the door back on. It wasn't sitting just right, or I wasn't putting it on just right. And I didn't even know that's what it was. But the second thing is, this is how purposeful God is. Like, there was no reason for the camera door to fall off this camera when I was shooting the reels. It wasn't like I didn't drop the camera. It didn't bump against anything. Like, there was no reason for it to fall off. But I know my God, who is the God who does all, I know for a fact, and you can't tell me different, I know God allowed that camera door, the battery door, to fall off in my hand so I could see with my own eyes that with the battery door not being on, your camera shut off. Solve the issue here. Put the battery door back on. It turns right back on. He allowed me to see that just now. So I would then say, maybe that's the answer for the other issue with the camera. Maybe that's the answer for the camera. Maybe that's the answer for the other camera. Like, had this never happened, had the battery door not fallen into my hand, and I didn't see for myself that when the battery door fell into my hand, the camera turned off, it never would have clicked in my head that that was the only issue with my other camera, that the battery door was off. Y'all, I thought I was gonna have to send my camera off to get hundreds of dollars worth of repair, send it in the mail, make sure I package it well enough to not get broken when I send it off. Don't know how long it's gonna take them to repair it, then send it back to me. Don't know how long I was gonna be without it, when God allowed me to see just now. Let me show you. Let me show you this thing. Let you see this battery door fall into your hand. You see the camera turn off, and you put the two and two together and say, let me put the battery door back on, and the camera turns on. And then when he allowed me to see that just now, I was able to connect it to the other one and say, all the repair is to put the battery door back on. Y'all may not be as excited as I am, because it wasn't y'all hundreds of dollars that y'all was about to spend on camera repair, simply because you didn't know. Simply because you didn't know. But the omniscience of God allowed me to come into the knowing of what it was and reveal the answer to me right then and there. See, some of y'all may not think that that's a God thing, that when things like that happens, it's just coincidence. But because the Bible says a good man's steps are ordered by the Lord, I don't believe that there are coincidences in my life. I believe that things that happen is because God, little serendipity episodes like that, is because God put it there for me to see something, to teach me something, to show me something, to allow me to be aware of something. Now, some stuff I get into just because I did it, because I just wanted to. But when it's something like this, when it's a God wink, when it's a serendipitous moment, when it's a, how the heck did that come together like that? How did God just save me, spare me, like keep me from, because he's like, I needed to show you. And what's funny is I didn't even Google anything. I normally Google things like camera repair or something like that. I didn't even Google to see what it was. I didn't even. I just like kind of panicked. I was like, oh my God, my camera's dead. I need da 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 da. But before I sent this off, and the thing is, sending my camera off to repair has been on my to-do list for a couple days now, and I just never got around to it. It's actually on my to-do list for today, because every things that I don't do on my to-do list one day, it falls off to the next day, and so I put it on my to-do list for today, along with a couple other things I had to do. But now I can scratch that off because I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. God allowed me today to see the answer to my problem by showing me the problem and the answer in another scenario. So those kind of things for me just gives me the faith to just keep believing that no, God really sees you. God really cares about you. God really wants to reveal these things to you. He really, really does. So that just gives me faith for the next thing. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that this project is going to go forth and catapult me into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, building onto the thing that God already has for me. I'm happy, y'all. Anywho, let me get up and go post a reel or two and grab something to eat. Y'all have a good one. I don't have the cheat code for fixing cameras, and I can't tell you how to save $300 on camera repair. But what I can tell you is that God really, really, really does want to show us things. He wants us to know. He doesn't want to leave us in the dark, but you just have to follow him and trust him, and he will show you. He is the God who can keep you from falling. Also, follow me on Instagram because I'm super dope over there. I'm pretty sure you can tell that by now. And watch the next video, subscribe to my channel, and come back next Thursday for another one. Bye.